Hello, back again. So I need to think about where I was last time. Health observer, exactly. And I have a compilation error. We need to fix that because I was straight in the lines of code here and I tried to continue. Okay, let's have a look. At first I started here that we want to register as a observer, okay, in each object, and then if the health depletes, it trigger a unity event. So I can use this to spawn an object. Well, that's okay. Okay, let's try it. Global objects for each object. Get component health. We assume that each object has a health component. If not, it fails here. That's no problem because I need to ensure that each object that is added into that global objects list contains a component, a health component. No problem. Then we have the health, and here we need a let's have a look into the health. We already added the health depleted callback. Yeah, here it is. Let's rename that a little bit. So I can say this health depleted callback, register callback, health depleted. So this is the callback we create. So when the health depletes, we get this callback triggered from the health component. So if an asteroid dies, it creates this event as a callback, and we use that to create an asteroid. Okay, an artifact. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's think about that stuff. Let's think about if it is depleted. We have here this. Register callback, global objects is a list. List global objects. Get global objects, that's a list. Punkt get all. Yeah. So this is we don't need the update, and now we need here the trigger, the unity event, the event trigger. That is an implementation I made by myself, like most things you see here. And he triggers, what does he trigger when the health is depleted? Of all health objects, he triggers with an object as a payload. And what kind of payload should it be? When he spawns, and spawner needs a game object. Okay, so let's use here a game object trigger. So let's give it a try. So, and with when the health depletes, we make trigger invoke game object. Perfect. Not perfect. Okay. So that's the signature. So what now? What do we have now when this component starts? He registers to all health objects to observe. But what if this list changes? List trigger, health depleted. The problem is that this list here changes. What can, okay, a very simple problem. I go back here. I have a little problem right now because the artifact controller here we created together. One moment. Wait. Oh no. It's a circle of death. I need to. Oh, no, there it is. Or. My Unity is waiting again. I hate this. Most of the times Unity doesn't come back, so I need to kill Unity and restart. Okay, let's go. Let's get back. Okay, there. So this controller creates this artifact creating objects list, and this list changes. And we need to register when this list changes. Because this list can change when the potential artifact spawner list, these are all asteroids, and the artifact carrying objects are chosen randomly. 2 are always in this list. And then we need to say to add a listener to each object in this list, but the list can change. So the objects die. And we need to react to a change of elements in this list. When this list changes, he needs to, the component needs to re-register in this list. So I need to have a look. Global objects. Do we have a... Okay, we can react to a change. Okay, let's do it like this. We have a change here. So what we need to do here is when the list changes, the content of the list changes, then we need to react to it. So let's register okay. I have an idea. Item edit callback and item removed callback. Register on item removed callback. So let's get into it. If someone has a question, just ask and I try to answer each question, no problem. So we have here this callback and this callback. So if an item is added to the list, we need to unregister. No, the object is dying. I don't think that we have to do anything, but we have to add this here. Oh, so item edit callback means if we have a new item in the list, then we need to register a callback. So that's okay. I hope so. I'm not sure, but I think it works. So when the health is depleted, we and an item is added, we have the health depleted, and that's the callback. Okay, so we register in each object that carries an artifact just to generate an artifact when the health is depleted. Okay, we try it out. Okay, just try it out, but no problem at all. We can just try out, use this trigger. That trigger should be only triggered when an asteroid gets an artifact that is spawned, to be spawned when the asteroid dies. Okay, let's try it out. So that's the health observer. I think I should rename that stuff. Okay, I let it leave that name, health observer, for the moment. So, and we need here the single object spawner. That's a component I wrote that is doing just a little thing. A single object spawner is inherited from spawner, and that's nothing more than, I think I can delete this because I don't need the global spawn counter. Okay, it's nothing more than a component that is able to instantiate a prefab, maybe randomized if needed, and spawns the object. That's all. And I can call this spawn via a Unity event. That's all. So if I use a single object spawner, I can say I just need a prefab, a little prefab for that stuff. So we can use here a new object. We need an artifact, but I don't have. I have some graphics for artifacts, for alien artifacts, but I just use a simple square. Let's use a square that is blue or something like that, so I can see it. So this is my artifact for the moment. I call it artifact, and then let's put the artifact here in the prefabs, just to have a simple, super simple artifact. And now I say here artifact use constant max count spawn, okay, spawn count is okay, endless. And now we need to add the trigger here, and we have here the single object spawner, receive trigger with a game object. And what now happens is if the health component of an asteroid is depleted and the asteroid is in this list, then he triggers this trigger that triggers the spawner that creates an artifact. That should work, maybe. So what we already checked is that this list is filled correctly. So I use here this property to watch the list at runtime. And maybe we can try it out, because we have all elements together. We have the artifact controller. This artifact controller chooses every 2 seconds 2 asteroids from all asteroids. In this list are all asteroids. In this list are 2 randomized chosen asteroids. Yes. Okay. Okay, we can try that. We can try that out. Maybe it works, maybe not. We will see. So let's wait. Okay, here's the asteroid spawn. As you can see, it spawns asteroids. There's a null reference. That's not so good. Let's have a look at the null reference. Have depleted list trigger. Let's have a look into the trigger. Oh, get component health. Maybe it is. I think every asteroid has an health. Null reference add. Item edit callback. Item edit. This is when an item in the list of health object. Okay, and we get the health component, the callback, and we try to register. So the only point where it can be null is this point. I think so. No, the callback is null. I forgot to... Yes, I forgot to initialize this object. Single argument callback. I forgot to initialize the callback. Perfect. Let's retry. Yes, should be the problem. Let's have a look. Retry. So this list should be filled up to one element and every 2 seconds second element. Perfect. 2 elements. So, and this asteroid is now in the list of asteroids that carry an artifact. Okay, the goal is to repeat, if I destroy an asteroid with an artifact in it, it should spawn a blue box. Okay, let's have a look. So, where is it? Where is it? Too fast. Okay, let's get this boy here transported back. So I can try to destroy that. Ah, there's a box. There's a box. Yes, it worked. Okay, this asteroid dropped a blue box. That is my artifact. So, okay, that's fine. So I have a list of objects carrying artifacts. No blue box. No blue box. No blue box. No blue box. I need blue boxes. Let's find and kill blue boxes. Asteroids to get blue boxes. Give me a blue box. Okay, let's get again there. No blue box. So now I need to have a look. Where is the first one? Okay, this one. And the second one is this one. Every 2 seconds he decides. Okay, this asteroid is very far away. Maybe asteroids die. Okay, let's find that one. And blue box? Yes? No? Where is my artifact? We have multiple artifacts. I expected that he created the new artifact right here, but he didn't. Because why? Yes, why? Maybe the positioning problem? Okay, a moment. I need a moment. Let's have a look. Asteroid and asteroid. Let's find this asteroid. No, that's an artifact. This is an asteroid. Okay, let's find this asteroid. created this artifact? No. Okay, I need to kill all artifacts he already created. Okay, let's get to the next asteroid. This one. Let's kill that asteroid. And there should be a blue box anywhere on the map. Ah, yeah, the blue box is fixed. Fixed point. Okay, that's a problem. The artifact gets not spawned at the point where the asteroid died, but spawned at a point in the world space. And now I need to transfer that. Okay, that's no problem. I can handle that. I know how to handle that, hopefully. Okay. Have the depleted list trigger. Understood. This is working. That is working from the beginning. That is a nice experience for me. Okay. Let's have a look again. This spawner needs to spawn where the object, the trigger has as payload the asteroid that died. So the spawner needs to take the source. Use source transform. I already have a option for that. Yes. Nice. I already solved the problem, as I can see. As we can see, I have already created a use source transform, and I instantiated the prefab when the Boolean value is true. Then I instantiate that at the position of the source, and the source is the object that goes into execute spawn, and that is a method that is called by the trigger when the trigger has as a payload a game object. So let's have a look. Should work right now. So what we should see when I kill asteroids that are in that magic list here, then they should produce blue boxes, and blue boxes are artifacts we need to collect. Very easy. So let's have a look. Let's go. There is it. I don't know. Okay. Yay! It worked. There is a blue box. Great. And the next one. Ooh, that's a fast one. No. Oh. I need to stop them. They are too fast. Okay, let's try that one. There was no artifact. No artifact. Artifact! Yay, it works. That's great. So now we have a artifact spawner that creates artifacts. So let's talk about what is an artifact in that game I create here. This is an arena shooter. So we have an arena that is this blue, this area between these blue boxes. There is the fight. We need to fight, and the task of this arena is to find these artifacts, second collect them, and third bring them to a special point of interest within the arena. And you need to collect maybe 6 or 10 of them. Yes. So next step should be the collection of the artifact. So when I collide with an artifact, it should we should collect it and have a counter anywhere that counts up if we have a collected artifact. So here's our spaceship that has a collider that is not active. I don't know why. It is not active because the spaceship has a shield, and the shield has even a collider. And I don't want to have multiple colliders at once. So if the shield depletes, it activates the other collider. That's the thing. Okay. So what we need to do, at first the artifact needs a collider, and we don't want that artifacts get hit by asteroids. There are artifacts rigid bodies. Yes, they are, because they interact with all other objects. Okay, let's get into the artifact. First, these blue boxes. Yes, okay. Rigid body. Okay. Give it a mass, like whatever, 10. Give it a linear drag. So they are, even we are in space, it is more like swimming in water than flying in the space. Vertex scale 0, okay, fine. And angular drag should be very high, so it is not rotating like spinning like a fan. Next step should be a collider. Let's take later, it is more a capsule, I think, or is it more a circle? Okay, for the moment we can take box collider, should be fine. Then let's scale it up a little bit, twice, whatever. So the thing is, it is a default layer, that is okay. So it interacts with every other thing. And now we need the collection mechanism. And how can we handle this? The fact is, we need to react that when it collides with my spaceship. And the most easy thing could be that we have a collider, an artifact collector or something like that. So create, yeah, that's okay. Artifact collector, maybe. Okay, let's try add component, and then we need a maybe a circle collider. That is a trigger. So a trigger is used if we don't need any interaction with physical objects, and we just needed to have trigger events that say, okay, there's an object within the collider or outside, and so on. So that's a collider. Let's have a look. How large is it? So the collection distance should be a little bit larger, like this. Okay. Now the difficult part. Each artifact should register in a special list. So we can have a look into the list, and if we collide with an object within the list, it should collect it. So artifacts, create the objects as artifacts. This is a list of all artifacts out there. So if we open the artifact register, global registration controller, that is just a controller that when the object starts to exist, it makes an entry in the list with the object, not more than that. I don't use tagging, or that is not a very good mechanism. I use lists. So I have the list of artifacts, and what I can do here is, let's say, here we have the artifact controller that is now, okay, it's just a trigger, so it should not interact. If I'm not sure, I can use this collider layer. I think that the collider layer does not interact. Let's have a look into the physics 2D matrix, and here we have collider. I hate this kind of matrix. But, okay, collider interacts with player. We just need to have a look into it, because I want to avoid that it is used as a collider in the meaning of physical collision. So I need the object just to test if a artifact is in reach. Okay, let's try it out. So then we have on object in collider event, and here we have a trigger, and the trigger, this component, I wrote this component that is very simple. In update invoke trigger, he checks by overlapping if a object is within that collider, and if so, invoking, and it invokes a trigger, a special trigger. That's all. I can use it for checking if an object is there within the collider, and then trigger another action. We have a filter here. Perfect. Is a list filter. Artifacts. So we just have a look if we have an artifact in reach. What we then do is that we say an artifact is in default layer. Layer mask is important. No object, at least one object, game object, event trigger, and I think we execute that trigger every frame in fixed update or update, physical frame or normal frame. Okay. This could work. Let's try it. Okay, let's just try out. We have here an overlapping, and we say at least one design game object event trigger invoke for each collider that is in, and every frame it gets executed, but we need only one frame. And the first frame where the artifact overlaps with the collider, we collect that artifact. So we have here the collector. That is okay, and then we have this trigger, and this trigger does different things. The first thing should something like destroy object on event. Let's have a look. I have here a component. Okay, here we can trigger just to destroy it. So when we fly over it, it gets destroyed. Perfect for the first test. So we have this one, and we say, okay, destroy, object on event destroy. And exactly the artifact that we hit with this collider will get destroyed because we have here the artifacts filter. Should work from the first step on. I hope so. We will see. Let's try it. So to try it out easily, we should use an artifact. So I don't have to fly behind the asteroids trying to kill an asteroid to find an artifact. I just take an artifact, getting it here, and then let's try. If I fly over this artifact, it should be destroyed. Get destroyed. Hopefully. Let's have a look. Ah, it worked. From the first moment on. I can't believe it. Okay, so let's make the collision test. Okay, perfect. Still works. and nothing triggered, no errors. Perfect. And next step. Yes, okay. So the rigid body does use the other one. Perfect. So now I can use this mechanism that I created here, this collector, to trigger first, yes, the artifact gets destroyed. And the second one is that we are in the mode like, what is then the next part? Can we collect multiple? Yes, we can collect multiple at once. So we need some kind of counter anywhere in the spaceship that says, okay, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 collected or more. Yes, I hope it works. Need to think about that stuff, but should work. Maybe should work. Maybe. Okay, let's try out. When we collect, then we destroy, and then we have a counter, a global counter, maybe just a global counter. That's okay. So we have here a global list and global objects. Then we have set of values, and we need a global value because there's only one list system-wide. So we just need to have a float variable here. We can use as a counter. That's just a scriptable object where we put in values. And this is collected artifacts. This artifact collector works exactly like that. We can say here, and now that we need to write a float variable value controller. As a controller, I can use to add values to a float variable, just incrementing, counting in a global way. So I use this rt collected artifacts, and when we collect one, we use this to add exactly one element by using this trigger before destroying, because I think they are in that order. And then we make this write, not set value, but add value 1. What now happened or should happen is that this artifact counter is incremented. We need no mapping. Fine. Great. If I have done everything right, collected artifact counter, let's do it like this. It's just a counter, yes. And that's a global value. Let's watch this when we fly over our little artifact here. It should be value 2. Okay, why value 2? It's strange. Should be only Let's retry. 4. It is twice. Have I made a mistake? The artifact collector at value 1. Right. Float variable mapping. The mapping is not active. Should not use it. Does he execute this twice? No. Why? Why should he execute that twice? I don't know. Hmm. I have no idea. When I collect that, I can I'm not sure. There's no delay, no game event. At value 1 single time. When we touch it, we destroy it. Maybe he calls it twice. I don't know. Why should he call it twice? On object in collider event. Maybe we need a protection that a event is only called once. I have an idea what the problem is. You have the collision, the collision test of the circuit collider triggers on object collider event, triggers the event, then the destroy, but the destroy happens maybe next frame. Exactly this object, and the write happens twice. Why? We have no mapping. I have no explanation for that problem. There's no explanation. There is an explanation, but I can't find it at the moment because this is strange. Or are these 2 artifacts? And I don't know that there are 2 spawned. Let's have a look. No, this is 1, exactly 1. We start at 0. This is exactly 1 artifact, hopefully. So now I get into that, and then it counts 2. Okay, we need to at first a little runtime debugging here. Invoke trigger results clear overlap collider. If invoke for each. Continue to invoke. No. At least 1 object in collider trigger. This is the first problem. We need to accept even the filter for this one. Oh, this is a little bug. Okay, a classic. First true. First single time update invoke within the for each. We have no other chance like doing it like this. I don't know any other mechanism that can solve the problem. Okay. But it should not change anything. Let's get back here. We are not using this. We are using the game object event trigger. Yes, we need to debug the game object event trigger. That's a very central class. I don't want to change it, but maybe I must change it. Okay, let's do it. Not very happy with that. Our only way to get into that like this, or maybe we use this invoking trigger process, invoke, proxy invoke. Okay, each invoke needs a if debug me invoked this name. Do we have a name? No, we don't have a name. It's just a simple class. Debug invoked. This is correct. Yo. Next one. This and one moment. Do we invoke? This is an invoke. This is a possible invoke. And that is a proxy invoke. And here we have a normal invoke. Okay, let's try. If, there's an else, we don't need this. Let's don't care about the path where it gets invoked. I just care about if it is invoked. It should be here a debug me button, and then let's have a look. If there are two invokes, we have the problem. Okay, there are two invokes. Okay, the problem is the trigger. This circle collider on object in collider event. The problem is he goes in this 2 times and this one. Okay. We also need a debug me right here. And then we have here after acceptance a if debug me debug log invoked with collider C game object name. So we can see if it is when this is 2 times, then we have a problem. Then we need to solve that kind of double invocation. There are 2 possibilities. First is we prevent double invocation by having a counter in this trigger. So the trigger says, okay, 1 time trigger, I do not trigger a 2nd time. Or we say you are more than 1 trigger, but that's the wrong point of problem correction, I think. The wrong point to solve the problem. I think we should solve the problem at the beginning by, I'm not sure. Okay, let's try out. Invoked. So, yes, let's try out. So if I try to collect, let's get into it's collected, call twice. Oh, I forgot to set the debug me. So we have two debug me's. Yes, invoked with collider. He invokes twice. This destroy is the problem. It doesn't work. It does not work instantly. It does work, but not instantly, and that's the problem. So what he says is, in this update, I make the invoke in the next update again. He finds it in the first invoke, invokes. That triggers the destroy, but next time the trigger is triggered again and then the object gets destroyed. I think that could be the problem. Because he doesn't destroy the object immediately, but the problem is I just have this kind of code to destroy an object. Okay. Okay, what can we do now? I want to get it work. First option is make this to a single trigger. If it got triggered, we remove that. Or we can delete the component. Delete the component? No. No, he can't delete anything because he has no. Okay. Think about it. Destroy object on event. He does destroy the object, but in the next frame. So how can we handle this problem? Let's try fixed update. In the physics one, that's not perfect. Okay, this was only one time. Value is now 3. Okay, why is the value 3? Retry. Initial value is 0. Okay, understood. Let's retry. Let's get into next. Let's run. Okay, it's in the fixed. There are yes. No, that doesn't work. That does not work. What is the distance event trigger? Distance event trigger. Okay. Okay, he publishes the distance, so you can decide if you do that or not. That's tricky. Let's think about it. I think the best chance we have is that we add a option for a trigger that says, okay, trigger once. No, that's not good. The artifact collector needs to trigger more than once. Each time. Destroy object on event. And then need to destroy the object, but he destroys the object in the next frame, not in this frame. Maybe removes a game object, component, or asset. I even don't have any hack in my mind. Maybe I need to start to think about the problem from the beginning. Maybe. Filter. Yes, okay. Then he invokes, and the destroy artifact collector, destroy object on event, goes into this code and executes this code too late. Let's try just a little debugging here. The destroy. Just I want to see if he causes twice. 2. I expect that he do that, but I'm not sure. We will see. Okay, retry, and then he calls destroy twice on the same object. What can we do? We can this is destroying immediately destroy. Yes, okay, but doesn't work. What can we do? We can remove it from the artifact list. Okay, that's a hard hack, because the next time the filter looks into this list, and when we remove the object from this list, we have no problem. That's a very harsh hack. Object from list. Let's create it. Just do it. Okay, where's the list? We have here a abstract mono behavior. And we just need the list. Right, global objects list to remove object from public void remove object game object O list to remove object O. If list, just make sure contains O. If it is in the list, removed. Or do I? Oh, I already have this kind of constraint, so I don't need to repeat that. So what I can do now is remove the artifact from the list. Yes. That's what we do. But that's not cool. I need to document that. Create some documentation, because I never know, can't remember what I'm doing when I have to do this kind of wild hack. Remove object. So what he does now is remove the object, and the next step it should be removed from the list, and the filter should say, okay, no, you are not the list, do not trigger again. Let's try out. What? Invoked, invoked, destroy, destroy. We have the same problem here. List remove object. He removes the object. And then he does the same thing twice. Why twice? We have a collider. This collider is a trigger. That's okay. Okay. We have here the collider. Require, how do we find the collider? Get component is just a single collider. We have not more than one collider. That is the result list. The result list is clear. Yes. Do we have the possibility to print out the actual frame number? Frame count here. Okay. Here we can see if here is all in one frame or in two different frames. That's really strange what I see here. Really strange. Should not happen like this. I expected complete different behavior. So let's have a look. As I expected, first frame invoked, second frame invoked, and then destroy, destroy. Okay, the event system invokes later. I didn't know that. Hmm. Hmm. Invoke. Invoke. I just need to have a look into a potential bug here. That is a classic Unity invocation. Unity event trigger. Trigger. Event to trigger invoke raise. That's a classical. Okay, no, this is a classical event to trigger Unity event invoke. Yes, that's standard. Okay, that's a problem I need to think about. The problem here is the collider sends the trigger. The trigger got received by the callback and the object collider event. He measures the overlapping, sees the overlapping, triggers the event, but the event get invoked but not executed. Yes, that's a problem. Okay, I need to stop here because I need to make a little bit reading about the problem and then I come back later. Ciao, ciao.